By a show of fingers, for how many of you will the topic of fair policing and the way law enforcement interacts with African Americans be a big factor in how you will vote in November's presidential election? Five of you. Okay. Alan, in what ways will that factor into your thinking about who you vote for?
Well, for me, it's okay. So I'll say this: I see so much of it on TV, as well as me being an African American male, and having to have talks with my nephews at home before they get out into the world and go to college. So if something can be done to definitely help or have laws put around policing when it comes to African Americans or anyone for that matter, um, that's going to definitely sway my vote.
Okay. Anybody have a somewhat different point of view on why it will influence your vote that way?
Yeah, for me, it's really about the federal government saying they're going to stand behind the community and pursue and prosecute because they can't control the everything that happens at the local level. But to say in a case where they feel like the local level is being insufficient, kind of like the hate crime laws that came out not too terribly long ago, those are things that allow the federal level to step in and pick up that case and pursue it further when needed.
Got it. Thank you. Who do you think will do a better job ensuring fair policing and a fair criminal justice system for African Americans? Donald Trump or Joe Biden? Fair policing and fair criminal justice system for African Americans. Show of fingers. Who would say it would be Trump who would do a better job of ensuring that? None of you. How many of you would say Biden? Show of fingers. All seven. Julius, why Biden?
He's for the common man. He cares about folks. Trump only cares about the rich and the elite when it comes down to it. My opinion.
Jerome, why Biden?
I think he's closer to like the working, person, just, average American, not being somebody of power, or, rich, like Trump. So I think, Biden will probably be somebody who will be better, um, in that particular situation.
Great. Thank you. By a show of fingers, for how many of you will the topic of fair policing and the way law enforcement interacts with African Americans be a big factor in how you will vote in the November presidential election? I got Michelle, Martin, who else? Oh, Kelly, I'm sorry. Shalia, four of you. How's this for the four of you? Just raise your fingers. In what ways will this topic factor into your thinking about who you vote for? Tell me just a little bit about that.
Sure. I'm not for banning the police, but what I am for is for more accountability of when a cop goes rogue and doesn't follow the rules or profiles. There needs to be stiffer punishment, as well as guidelines, as well as training, as well as rules.
Okay. The other three of you, similar mindset, like how you're thinking about this as a issue in the next election, or is it
Yeah,
different?
I think there needs to be additional training. For me, being a mental health advocate, I think a lot of police officers need to have that as a part of their training. So instead of responding to things as a criminal, you can respond to things as a crisis.
Yep.
And I think that would make a big difference. I also need them to redo how they are paying out police officers. If a city is found to be, liable because a police officer did something they weren't supposed to, I don't need my tax dollars to go towards your mistake. I did not hire him. You made that decision. I did not support him. I need you to start taking that from their pension funds, so they should not receive that. And I feel like a lot of those things need to be, readjusted. I don't need to pay for your mistake when I didn't agree with what happened in the first place.
Thank you, Michelle. So as a political consideration, so I understand as a policy, you just described what you want to see policy-wise.
Right.
You're thinking about a candidate running for office. You want a candidate who basically reflects what you just said. Is that what I'm hearing?
I want a candidate that understands there needs to be police reform. I need a candidate that doesn't sweep it under the rug. I need a candidate that understands that just because you haven't experienced something doesn't mean it's not the experience of others. I need a candidate that's empathetic to Black people and brown people and doesn't, gloss over things and assume that because it hasn't affected them or they don't see it or the cops that I know said that that doesn't happen. I need you to understand that you need to do your research and that you need to resolve what we're telling you is an issue, because we're not saying it on a platform of, oh, it's just me. We're saying on a platform and you see it on the television every day. Stop being delusional.
Got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. So who do you think will do a better job ensuring fair policing and a fair criminal justice system for African Americans? Trump or Biden? By a show of fingers, who says Trump? None of you. Who says Biden? Your choice is between those two. I'm not giving you a third option.
I was gonna say neither, but I guess I'll go with
Yeah,
Biden.
neither. I still
go with
stand on
Trump.
neither.
You go with Dorothy, you would go with Trump. Okay. All right. And Dorothy, how do you come to Trump as being better for ensuring policing and fair criminal justice for African Americans?
Well, let me say this. Biden was the same way Trump was until he had some downfalls in his family. Then he changed his policy because he put so many Black people in jail. Some of them died in jail, never did come out because of his policy. So now he's doing a complete 90 turn, not pretending he like Black folks. That's why I say I would go with Trump.
Got it. Okay, thank you. I appreciate the explanation on that.